Jay here, Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio, but we're not live. It's pre-recorded because I'm producing myself today. I'm doing everything. To be fair, I'm not here tonight, so it's only right. So get involved anyway in the comments. Doesn't mean you lot can't get involved. It just means it's not live. But you know what? We've still got a load of stories to get through, so it's all good. Listen, first of all, I'm going to go over a story I covered last night on Paddock Live, but it's worth mentioning. It's doing the rounds this morning. It was doing the rounds last night. I'm sure you've read it, but if you haven't, I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Manchester United sale. I've just got the story up here from Sky Sports, but I could have got it from anywhere. It says Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos bid offers Glazers chance to keep stake in the club. Deadline for third and final takeover bids of United is 10 p.m. on Friday. So Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos is preparing a bid which would see them own 50% of the club, meaning Glazers could retain their 20% stake. Qatar's Sheikh Jassim will make a 100% bid to buy the club. So with that, Sir Jim Ratcliffe will come in, he'd own 50%, making him the sort of the biggest shareholder. According to these reports, I think this stemmed from an article in the Daily Mail with Mike Keegan saying that the Glazers would have retained 20%. Now, where does that leave us? Does that leave the Glazers in control of the club? No. Does it leave them still involved in Manchester United? It would appear so. And that is going to upset a lot of people. We know that there's been pushback on the idea of the Glazers selling a minority stake, of any idea of the Glazers or any suggestion of the Glazers still being involved, owning part of, whatever you want to call it, with Manchester United Football Club. Now, the 1958 have planned a protest for Sunday for the Villa game. They tweeted last night, when this news broke, they did a tweet, and I'm just going to dig it out now for you because it says, if you get in bed with Glazer, you are a Glazer. The fans will have their say this Sunday. Full sale only. Join the protest, and a picture from the Glazer out banner that we saw at the FA Cup semi-final. So get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. We're going to get into this a bit more. I'm going to speak to some experts and try and get Kieran Maguire or something like that on the channel. But the initial reaction from me when I saw that was one of worry. I don't want the Glazers still sticking around. I don't want them owning any of Manchester United. We do want a full sale, and this wouldn't appear to be that. Now, you may look at it and go, well, is that going to work anyway? 50% sale, keeping the Glazers on. Would they not rather just have a load of money, a full sale themselves, make the most money they can do and walk away? Well, there's lots of ifs and buts and maybes. There was some reports and suggestions a few weeks ago that they could be looking to stay on because they see the value of Manchester United increasing a lot over the next 10 years. But if they were to get, I think it's around the 6 billion quid that they want, would that change? Would they just be happy to take the money and run? There's also the added twist that it sees that Joel and Avram want to stay on while the rest of the Glazer lot don't. I mean, I wish they'd all just do one, to be honest with you, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. Now, the other bidder who seems to be at the forefront is Sheikh Jassim. Now, there's a story doing the rounds. I saw this in the Manchester Evening News, and this says Manchester United takeover latest as UEFA's president admission boosts Qatari bid. It goes on to say the third and final Manchester United takeover deadline is on Friday, and updates about the process is again beginning to filter out in advance. And it says UEFA boosts Qatari bid. UEFA president Alexander Seferin has admitted European football's governing body pretends at least one club are not owned by the same owner due to their competition rules, which would smooth the process of Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani completing a takeover of Manchester United. So there's not any dramas there with the UEFA sort of rulings there, according to the news and other sources as well. It looks like UEFA aren't going to stand in the way. We kind of knew that anyway. That's kind of like, okay, we were expecting that because otherwise the bid would be dead in the water. Now, you've also got this added twist of Sir Jim Ratcliffe offering, according to reports, the possibility of the Glazers staying on. Now, when you look at that, a lot of fans, and I've seen a lot on social media, are turned off by that idea and now looking towards maybe the Qatari bid will be preferable. I thought there was a bit of a divide, if I'm being honest, between the people or the fans that wanted Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the fans that wanted the Qatari bid. With the Qatari bid, there was questions around sports washing and it being owned by a state. I know you could argue that Sheikh Jassim is an individual investor, but I think we have to be realistic about it. Why has he got access, supposedly, to unlimited money? And why was he head of the Qatari bank and his dad was prime minister? It does smell a bit like it's a state-owned thing. So Jim Ratcliffe, there was sorts of greenwashing about his environmental issues, and now this with the suggestion that he could let the Glazers stay on. That's going to put a lot of people off, and it is putting a lot of people off. So when you look here, a lot of the fans will be going, look, we don't want this, and they might previously have been like against the Qatari bid, but now be more willing to accept that because of this sort of twist in the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid, according to reports. I hasten to add that because we don't know. We don't know for definite. This is just what's being reported by some journalists, and I'll be honest with you, I've yet to see it nailed on by a journalist where I'll go, yeah, I 100% trust them. So we'll see what happens. We know that the bid is going to be, the deadline, is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So by tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we're going to find out, or we should find out, what is going on. I mean, we might not find out by tomorrow, but the deadline is then. So if it's not happened by then I don't know. We could have another twist in the tail, but suggestions are Sheikh Jassim is going to bid for a full takeover. Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid will involve buying a 50% stake in the club, and there's also other investment firms that are looking around as well, some of whom may be willing to give the Glazers a minority stake. We don't, or keep Glazers on, by buying a minority stake, which is not what we want to see. Get involved in the chat in the comments. I'm going to leave it there. There's loads to look at in terms of the game tonight. The preview's already up. I had a chat with We Are Tottenham TV. You can go and check that out. We're back later on for the watch along. I'm going to be in Waterstones with my boy David Scott doing a little bit of a chat about his book. If you haven't seen it yet, you haven't read it, go and check it out. Give it a Google. Mancunians by David Scott is a great read. I've been Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.